Hi guys, sorry for the slight delay between posting videos. It's been a bit of a crazy school holiday period. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about another service area provided by Innovate Disability Services, namely Specialist Disability Planning. So, excuse me if I get a little bit excited about this. I'll try not to talk too fast. Planning just gets me a little bit excited. It's my favorite thing. I love a good plan. The goal of specialist disability planning is to make big and scary goals seem easier to achieve and just more doable. This can be done very, very simply by breaking your goals down into really clear and achievable steps. So when I was going through a really challenging and overwhelming time in my life, someone asked me if the Titanic had crashed into 1 trillion ice cubes, what would have happened? And I thought about this, and then he just went on and said, well, nothing, because each ice cube would have just bumped and moved out of the way. And the moral that I took away from this story was that if you are able to break your iceberg task or goal down to its sort of tiny ice cube, you won't sink. So I take that analogy and I've applied that to pretty much every aspect of my life since. So as long as you are able to break any task or goal down into its tiniest portion, tiniest step, then nothing will overwhelm you. And I've applied this every day, and with every person I've worked with. So when I work with people with disabilities, what I like to do is we find out what the goal is, or the problem, or the task, and we map out what each individual step is, or each ice cube, and we go from there. So having a plan in place that you can refer to or use with your support workers, your therapists, or your carers can really tighten up how your supports work for you. And that ultimately reduces your stress, because you then have control over how you move towards achieving your goals. So my favorite type of planning is person-centered planning, as it's incredibly holistic and it's dynamic and it changes with you. It can also save you having to repeat your story over and over again to every new person who comes into your life. Other types of planning can be things like succession planning. So that's the rather grim stuff that people don't really ever want to talk about. So if you care for someone with a disability, what is going to happen when you are no longer able to provide care for them, or when you are no longer able to make decisions on their behalf? How do you want that to look? How can that transition be facilitated to reduce the stress and make sure that change happens smoothly, and it happens in a way that is comfortable for the person that you care for. Other planning might be more general, like life planning, or it can be very specific, such as goal planning. So I have an ultimate goal of moving out of home, living independently, and getting a job. So that comes down to breaking it down into the tiny micro steps involved in making that happen. So as with all of my services, sessions can be conducted via Zoom, Skype, over the phone, or in person via arrangement, and depending on your needs. And how long it takes really depends on the complexity and what you need and prefer. So if you would like for more information, please send me an email on info@innovatedisabilityservices.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Also, please, if you like my page, please share it with your friends or anyone who might be interested. Stay tuned for bloopers as usual. Thank you. There's always plenty. Take care. See you soon. Bye. Today's video is brought to you by Makona Classic. School holidays have been chaotic. Child's birthday, sick cat number 1, sick cat number 2. Maybe I shouldn't have cats. Yeah, maybe. Excuse me if I get a little bit excited about this. I love planning. Not in a creepy way. That sounds wrong. So that can... What sort of show are we running here?